In a previous video, I showed an 1898 silver dollar and provided a glimpse for the keenest of viewers of the oldest American minted coin. But neither of these are my oldest find. My oldest is a Spanish coin that just celebrated its 300th birthday. Join me as I go back to the spot where I found it and try to make sense of its history. These are my stories from the Signal. This is a 1721 Spanish 2 real. To put this in historical context, it was minted 11 years prior to the birth of George Washington. It is roughly the diameter of a quarter, but slightly thinner. It has a silver weight of 0.1965 troy ounces. On its face are a crown and shield with various symbols representing kingdoms ruled by Spain. There is a mint mark of M indicating this was struck in Mexico City. The name Philibus can be seen for King Philip V of Spain. On the back we can clearly read the 1721 date. At the time this was made, it would have been hammered. That is, an exact amount of silver would have been placed between two casts and struck by a hammer, thus giving the irregular shape and edges that don't line up perfectly. I found this coin on the banks of this stream in 2015. I had to wait the 6 years for it to officially turn 300. This coin was no more than an inch below the surface, mostly made of small stones. Right after I found it, I got a second hit that sounded exactly the same. However, that target turned out to be a modern-day quarter. What an odd thing, to find coins no more than a foot apart, but with a 300-year age difference. I have found trap tags here, indicating that animal trapping in the past has occurred in this location. And of course, I always find fishing lures and sinkers when I'm in the stream. So quite possibly, this coin may have been lost a long time ago by someone fishing or trapping. But why the Spanish coin? When I watch other detecting videos and talk to other people who detect, I have heard of people who find Spanish coins. For many, finding a Spanish coin is a bucket lister, but not unheard of in the United States. I have, since finding this coin, found another Spanish coin. It turns out that Spanish coins were widely used in the U.S., and for that matter across the globe. It wasn't until 1857 that Congress passed a Coinage Act which ended the use of foreign coins in the U.S. About a mile downstream from where I found this coin is Children's Lake. It was man-made in the 1750s to support an iron furnace which was built in the 1760s. Perhaps these historic features of Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania are related to this coin. The detail that still remains on the coin suggests it didn't change hands too often. It could have been lost up to the 1850s, but more than likely was lost sometime in the mid-1700s. We know the story begins in Mexico City in 1721. This coin more than likely traveled on a ship along with goods. It could have traveled to Europe or even Asia. Perhaps it exchanged hands in Philadelphia and ventured west into central Pennsylvania, where someone was paid for their help in digging out Children's Lake, building a furnace, or even working iron after the furnace was built. They may have fished to provide food for their family, or trapped as a second source of income. Maybe they kept this coin in a sack or folded into their clothing and tripped on slippery rocks, and the coin fell unbeknownst to them, where it was covered by sediment and stones and sat until I found it 260 or 270 years later. For sure, many people walked right over it. We'll never know the exact story about who lost this coin, how they earned it, and why they lost it. We'll never know where it has been, but I'm grateful to have found it and be part of its history.